Alright, so welcome again for the Appian demonstration, guys. Yesterday we couldn't see much because my laptop wasn't working properly, and then we decided to join today again, and then we'll go through the demo. So yeah, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Ravi. I'm doing this training for at least 5 years now. I have total experience of Appian of around 10 years plus, right? And yeah, that's what about me. And yeah, if you guys want to introduce yourself so I can know the audience, and so it helped me to design the course in a that way. So yeah, if any one of you wants to go ahead and then share your um skills, yeah. Do you want me to call out the name and then can proceed? So yeah, Kalpana, can you tell me about yourself? What's your background? What technology you're working on? Are you fresher? Something like that? Yeah.
Uh, Hi Ravi, I did my engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got to know this about this Appian training through one of my friend. I
Okay.
knew about this training a little bit.
Okay. Are
Um,
you working right now or you're a fresher?
I worked till last month.
Okay. Okay.
As my project is finished, so I relieved.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you, Kalpana.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you, Ravi.
Shem, how about you?
Hi Ravi. I have more than 10 years of experience and I've been working in IBM BPM so far.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar with the middleware and
Right.
the
Okay.
terms and technology. So
All right. Thank you, Shem. How about you? Anyone else want to go? Shiva?
Yeah, hi team.
Hey.
Yeah, currently working Tech Mahindra. I'm having 2.5 years experience on APN. Currently working on this.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I need more. So that's why I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. Prithpal, how about you? Prithpal, can you hear me? Okay. We'll come to Prithpal now. Kirti, what about you? What's your experience? Are you working? Fresher?
I'm working. And my experience is 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you working on Appian or some other technology?
Yeah, if in support, I want to do the
Okay.
development project.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. And Vandana, how about you?
Yeah, hi. Actually, I'm an IBM BPM developer. I have
Mm-hmm.
around 4 years of experience in IBM BPM. So,
Okay.
I was just checking, Appian has a good market, so I just wanted to explore this tool.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Right. Thank you. Yeah. So it's a very nice team. We have laterals. We have very new to the company ITs. So it really be interesting. People can learn from each other as well. You know. You can also see the comparison because I have seen a couple of people are here from the IBM BPM, right? Right, nice. Okay, thank you for your introduction, guys. So we talk about the Appian, right, yesterday, and we talk about like what Appian is, what a BPM first of all. We talk about it's a BPM tool, right? So what a BPM tool? Before going knowing that, we should be knowing the what's a BPM. And yesterday we given an example of real time example of making a tea that what's a business process and management, right? Anyone had any doubt in it? Any question around there? No? Okay. So we also talk about what kind of coding standard it would have in Appian, right? And then how does it look like. Let me share my screen quickly. You guys can see my screen. I'm sharing my notepad. You guys can see it? Yes, no? Yeah, thank you. So, like, yeah, what's an Appian? It's a tool which is used to create a web-based application, right? As compared to Java.NET, we have a lot of coding to, coding to create any other requirement, right? So in Java .NET, you do a lot of coding, right? But in Appian, it's not. It's a drag and drop options. You must have heard this terminology that drag and drop. We drag the components and drop it onto the developer panel, and then we see the code is already developed, right? If you talk about a simple few example of the Appian, like how it works, it's a for example of if condition, as I discussed yesterday as well. If the value x is equal to 5, display yes or no. It's just very much similar to the Java code, because the reason is behind that is because Appian is built in the Java itself. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have to know all this Java terminology, Java coding, and then functions and all, because Appian has its own functions, right, to work upon, and then it's very easy to understand the functions because it has given the descriptions nicely, right? So we said about low code tool, right? Why it's a low code tool? So you don't have to write coding for everything, right? You will just have to do configurations and then things will be ready for you. You can also customize the code that is Appian created for you, right? That's why it's a low code tool, and it's very faster. That's why it's a very um, liked by the customers to design. For one of the example, like let's say if you want to, one of the form you want to design a field. Let's say you want to design a field for the first name. You don't have to write the code for entire text field. There's a function called a bank text field, and this will what it will do. It will create a one text field in your form. You just have to configure, like where you have to where you want to save the value, where you want to, what validation you want to do it, all those things you can do it inside this one, right? So there could be parameters here, like what is the value you want to display. Let's say I want to display the value as, let's say, Raj, so it will display the Raj there, right, in the text field. If you want to read only true or false, you can see it. So if you mark as read only true, this will not be editable. Okay, so these are the things. All these values, all these parameters will be displayed in the description window below on your coding panel. I'll show you how the code will look like again. Same way, if you want to have a drop down field, you can use a drop down field function where you can provide the list, what are the choice values you want to display, so user can go and select. So all the configuration you need to do. You don't have to write the entire code for displaying the drop down value. Okay, that's why it's called a low code tool, right? No code versus low code. People say if you don't want to write a code, why don't we go for a no code tool? And why it is not that much likely by the customers? Because no code tool will not allow you to do the customization, right? Whatever is being designed there, you just simply have to use it. Okay, still there are certain applications which has a very simpler UIs and everything. You can't do much more enhancement there, so they use the no code tool. Okay, right. Right, this is the example that we see that for equal to 5, that's called a condition, and then it's true part and the false part. Anywhere, any language, if condition has the same pattern, condition, true part and false part, right? If you go with the nested, then again you can have else if. All right. Okay, we talk about the business, right? BPM tool. What's a BPM tool? It's a business process and management. This is a real-time example that we gave it. Like what you want to do is a business. What the requirement you want to give it is a business, and how do you process it is the call process. And then management from the data perspective. How do you capture the data? Where do you keep it? From where you're bringing the data, right? And then we talk about the Appian language. What's an Appian language? It says SAIL. Okay, self-assembled interface language. This is always used Appian. Okay. Okay. Right. Now this is the question that can be asked, like what kind of application we create in Appian and who will be the user, right? If I ask you to create an IRCTC site in Appian, is that possible, guys? Whoever has experience can tell me. If I want to design an application like IRCTC, is that possible?
Yeah, that is possible.
Right. But can it is advisable to create such kind of application in Appian? Is it advisable?
Yes, I think we can.
Mhm. See, IRCTC, if you are going to create an application like IRCTC, right? How many users you are expecting there in a country like India? There could be millions of users, right? Isn't it? And Appian requires credentials for each user. And the cost of Appian increases based on the number of users as well. So if there are millions of users, then you can't create credentials for everyone. Otherwise, you can't bear the cost of Appian, right? So IRCTC application you can create, but it's not advisable because it will require n number of millions of credentials to be created, which will take the cost very higher. So what kind of applications we built in Appian? In Appian, we built in-house applications. Anyone knows what is the in-house applications?
Applications which are used within the organizations, Ravi.
Right, that is totally correct. So application which is used within the organization. So what kind of application that could be? Any example?
Management,
For new customer
customer onboarding,
Right, customer onboarding, a perfect example, right?
and for new accounts in the bank.
New account, yeah, new account openings process, right? Right. Like you must have applying leave in your company, right? So leave applications system. You must have to handle some inventories, so inventory management system. So all those applications which can be used by the in-house employees, those application is advisable to be created in Appian. Okay, right? So that's why I said you should not be creating. It's possible to create an ICTC site type of site, but it is not advisable because it will take your cost very higher because the number of users will be more, right? So Appian only suggests you can create the application which is used in the in-house. That's why companies are Appian project, right? All the banks you must have seen, insurance company you must have seen using Appian, right? But not the government, right? They can't use the uh, HTTP website developed in the Appian. Not possible, right? Got it? What kind of application it creates? Any questions? Yes, no? Come on, guys. We have more than 10 members right here. There should be here, right? Okay. Like we said, right? Some bank uses Appian, right? The bank employees are the in-house users, and customers are not, because customers, if we allow customers to create use the application, certain things we can provide them access, but not all of the things, right? All right. Okay. Any question till here, guys? Whatever we discussed, what Appian is, how it works, what kind of application we created. Yes, no, no.
Yeah, all good
All
till now. Yeah, so far.
right. Thank you, Sam. Okay, so let me go through the demo of this. Let me know when you can see my screen. You guys can see it.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
All right. So yeah, thank you. So what? Yeah, thank you. So what's the idea behind the Appian, using the Appian? It's a quite a faster, and then it's a low code tool, very easy to develop. That's why it's very much likely by the customers. Okay. So how Appian works in the behind the scenes? What is the flow? what helps Appian to take the flow from one place to other place, right? So you must have seen in Java coding, right? You must have to bring the connections and then put the data from one point to other point using the APIs and everything, right? In Appian, we also have all the same things, API call, process modeling, which helps you to take the decision point where to where, go to where to where. So you, the example you are seeing it on the UI, right, on the current screen is an example of process modeling. It's not a proper process modeling, just the diagram of it. So, when customers on doing the online shopping, right, and they it online shopping sends some offer to the customers, you have this offer, either you can accept it or decline it. If you decline, it's simply going to end the flow. If you accept the offer, you make the payment, you receive online banking will receive the payment. So everything is going to be in sequential order, right? What happens to the next step once it's confirmation of the payment is done, you can send the invoice, and then the customer can receive the offer, they can place an order for the product and all, right? All those things work in a sequential manner, right? So you can design a process model which can help you to take a decision from where to what place you want to take your workflow. You can take a decision. All these diamond shaped boxes are able to help you to take the decision which path it has to take. Just like here, it has taken the path like, if user has declined the offer, you can go to the end node, or if it is accepted the offer, then further process will come into the picture. So likewise, you can do all those things in the process modeling. So we talk about what's an Appian. It's a recognized global leader across multiple enterprises technology markets. It became very much likely to buy the customer because of its UI enhancement. Appian always, in every release, it enhances its UI a much. It gives you a very good UI components as well. It has the rich text display field to display the text into the colorful manner. It has multiple layouts. It has a very nice layout like billboard layout to display the sites, create a site, to put insert into any images and all. It's very easy and very fast in the Appian, right? Digital transformation by using the Appian process modeling, it helps you to,
So one question here.
yeah.
What do you mean by intelligent business process management system?
Intelligent business process management system. Appian also has its own RPA, right? If you want, you can also include your bots within your process model, which can help you to take decision and do certain jobs. Let's say if you want to pull a particular document from some, read some text from an email, right? It can do it by using the bots. If you want to put a document from one place to other place, you can do it by using the bots. So you can configure the bot somewhere, and then you can use that bot into your process model,
And that
right?
is out of the box.
Right. So that's the out of box, and it's a combination of user interaction plus the RPA thing you can configure into the process modeling, right?
Okay.
Yeah, these are the UI example you can see. It can be configured in any of the devices, mobile, tablets, laptops, desktop, anywhere, right? Very minimal changes you might have to do. Otherwise, Appian adjusted a lot of code by itself, how it needs to look like in other devices. If you have a specific requirement that I need to display in such a way, then you can do such configurations. Otherwise, if you haven't done anything, it will auto adjust the UI based on the devices you are using. Okay, so this is the one of the UI
So are all
example.
the controls that we use on the UI are mobile compatible, or is there
Right.
any configuration or any customization we need to do for different
See,
devices?
most of the components are auto configured. It will auto adjust the UI. If you want to be a specific setting, you can go and change it, based on the devices. It also allows you to see how the things will look like in your different devices panel in the designer window. So you can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Some of the feedbacks from the customers like Equivia, Peers, Sanofi, these all companies are using Appian now, and then they have mentioned that it has Appian has very quick response, and it's very faster as compared to the other technologies. So one of the comments from Equivia was that there was a clinical trial which was taking up to 12 months, which has been now reduced to the 1.5 months now. And Bear company was mentioned, they had to build some reporting tools, and then it reduced by hours to 3 minutes. Right? So that those kind of feedback Appian has from the clients. Yeah, these are the feedback from the clients. What's the triple crown leader? It's a process automations, low code, and case management. So Appian also gives you the case management. It also has a low code thing, and then it also the process automations. As I mentioned, you can automate the process. You can start the process by itself. You can have a timer activity configured. You can have bots included. You also have the case management tools are available in Appian. You know, case management doesn't allow you to do much more configurations, but it has similar way of like kind of a no code, but you can do certain level of customizations in the Appian as well. And obviously, it is a low code. That's why the Appian is the most uh, you know liked by the customers. Right. So it was a old rating, but it has increased, and Appian is still leading the market. Um, if you see the overall rating in terms of technology, Appian in the BPM is was the higher, right? Yeah, obviously you can see 4.8 for the Oracle and all, right? But the in terms of BPM, it was the higher liked by the customers. Right. So what you can do, where Appian fits, right? You can create your automate your business processes, extend your system with the new processes, and connect with unify existing applications, right? If you are using any application, let's say you are using the application in the Java because you wanted to have some different UIs and all, right? And so you are raising let's say claim request there, right, on the Java UI, and then you want it to the backend process to use an Appian where you submit the your details, and then you want to send the details to the Appian. Appian will take all those inputs and then run in the backend. You can do using the API. Also, you have to send the request to the Appian, and then in the backend, Appian process will execute. It will process your data, submit the data to the database, generate the report, generate the document for you, and then it is sending back to the person who has requested all these things, right? So there also you can use the Appian. Many companies use that because they wanted some different level of UI because Appian doesn't support Java X and then Ajax things, right? So that's why someone has inbuilt UI, so they uses Appian as a backend process. So that's also quite possible thing. Okay, right? I mean, process automations, unified data, artificial intelligence. As I said, it's also there, and then bots you can also include. So you can mix up the things and create an Appian process completely. Appian records. So till now, Appian had this Appian record feature, which was you know used mostly. I mean, which was using in all of the applications. But now Appian is saying that let's move to the records 100%, and then get rid of the data store and then custom data types, because the custom data types and data stores was taking a much time to query the data from the database and then display it, right? It was sometimes user were getting some issues that mentioning, it is getting timeout. You are not able to fetch the data because it's a huge amount of data. So Appian is now suggesting to move to the
So what
record.
is this Appian records?
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you that. Yeah. So Appian record comes into the picture. Appian record is a tool, is an object in Appian where you can configure your data from the table, right? You can configure it. So let's say I am going to connect my Appian record from one of my table, right? And then I can see all the data in a particular grid format, and I can also take an action on it. Let's say if I want to apply a leave request, so I can do it from the Appian record. I go to the Appian record and I can see a button apply leave, right? So once you click on the apply leave and then provide your details, it can submit your whole data to the database. If you want to take an action on this leave data, let's say you want to update it, so you can say update my leave request. You click on that, the data will pop up. Whatever you have filled, you can edit it, you can change the data, and you can resubmit it. In case you want to cancel your leave, you can again click on another button, cancel my leave request, and it will pop up your details, and then you can say cancel request. The leave request will be cancelled. So all those things, if you want to collectively bring your data from third party to your Appian record, you can bring it, and then you can take an action on it as well. You can have a different UIs, like what is the audit trail, what was the summary view of my data, all those things you can do it, and you can take an action on the data. So Appian record is collectively brings all the things in your one place. So you can take an action, you can see the data, you can add a record, you can delete a record, all those things you can do by using the Appian record. Now, how Appian record also helps? It also automatically creates the code for you. Let's say I want to generate an action for cancel the request. I just do 2 or 3 clicks and my action will be get created in behind the scene, a process model, an interface, all those things will be get created for me. If I want to do some customizations, you can do it. Within a second, you can configure your actions like deleting your record, adding a new record, updating a record. All those things can be configured quickly, and you can want, if you want, you can go and customize it. Okay, so that's how the powerful Appian record is now. You can also combine 2 records, and then is the concept of view, right? Let's say if I ask you to combine 2 tables and then display the data, right? So you need to create a view, isn't it? So view takes a time to evaluate itself. That's why it was taking much time to return the data. So Appian comes with the feature of add relationship, where in one record you can add another record, and you can have the data as same as of your view, which is 10 times faster than your, if you query the data from directly from the view. So those features are also available in the Appian record. We'll see when we start creating it. You will see how quicker it is. Initially it was taking a day of development. Now it's within a minute you can complete everything, right? So that's how powerful Appian record is. Okay, any questions?
I think it will be helpful when we actually dive
Right,
into this.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you see, I mean, one of the dashboard of the Appian that created, you can have images, nice graph, details, some KPIs also. You can, if you want, you can display. It's very easy to develop and very faster, and it give you very nice and great view of the Appian UIs. Right, these are the example of graphs and chart to be used. Keep some KPIs. As I said, right, you can combine people, task, bots, and AI, and create one process model, so that you can have a combination of all together. Right, you see this one, right? This is example of process modeling where you can have smart services. Now, what are the smart services is? Smart services are the kind of a function or service, or you can say some tools that you can drag and drop it. Let's say if you want to send an email, you don't have to do the configuration of sending the email of the server and everything. Oh, those things are not required. You just have to configure. So drag the tool of send email from smart service from left to on your designer panel, and then just mention whom to send the email, what is the email body, and do you want any attachment. All those things you configure, and you don't have to worry about the connection. It will do that. Let's say if you want to write the record to the database, so simply use write to record smart service, drag and drop it here, and then just say what record you want to say, right? It will automatically write the data, and data will get captured to the database. So very less configurations you have to do. Everything is done by the Appian itself, right? Right. As I said, right, the one of the comment from the Forrester company was that it says 20 times faster is the custom coding. Definitely, right? It will be, because custom coding you have to write everything. Here you don't. You just have to do some configuration. Right. What are the objects we have? We have like process model, rules, integrations, interfaces, constant, the process reports, all those things we have it in Appian components to help to create a application. Very few, but here is a list of the companies which is using Appian, and not only for 1 or 2 projects. Like every company is using 10 to 12 projects running, in Appian. When Appian grown very higher, during the COVID. So during the COVID, what Appian does is that it built it some application in very less time for the pharmaceutical companies to generate the report, because that time the reporting generation was very required, and then how the medicines are, clinical trials are going on, and everything was going on, right? So Appian took this as an opportunity, and created many applications for the pharmaceutical companies. By that time, it grows, like anything. So many pharmaceutical companies accepted Appian as a tool, for their projects during the COVID. That's why the market was down for all other technologies, but for Appian, it was very high. Even personally, I switched in during the COVID. So that's where the Appian grows, very high. It took the opportunity of the COVID. Right. I'll give you a quick demo of the product. Before that, let me show you the architecture of this Appian, how it works like any other technology, like any other uh, programming language. Appian also has a three layers: interface, services, and data. Interface is like tempo sites where you see the Appian working things, embedded interface, and designers, which is where you use the developments, administrator console, where you can do the admin things like setting up the branding of your application, creating some users, and all those things, right? But now in the current version of this Appian that they are providing for practice, the community editions, they have not given the access of admin console. They have not given the access of the database, but you can create an application. You can learn how to do the development, right? In the services, yes, we use as APIs, plugins to be used for transferring the data for connection with the third party and all, right? So we have APIs, integration, and connected systems, which we will be using to check how this app can, bring the data from third party and it can be accessed by the third party. All those things you can see it. And then data, obviously, it uses the file systems where you can keep your if you want to upload any files to the system, right? Those files will be captured within the Appian itself. If you want to generate any file, you can generate it and keep it in your Appian system. And if you want, you can also transfer to the third party like S3 or some other clouds by using the API calls. Database, it has its own database. Initially, it was the MySQL, but later they have changed the server to MySQL to MariaDB, which is very much similar to the MySQL, but they have changed to the MariaDB because the indexing is very much faster in the MariaDB as compared to the MySQL. Right. Any question till here, guys? So let me know. Then I can go with
Yeah,
for the.
I had a
Mhm.
question. So, can you go back to that slide, please? That architecture slide.
Sure. Give me 1 second.
So, what is the runtime environment you mentioned? JBoss server?
Right. Yeah. Just a second. Right. Yeah. Tell me.
So the runtime environment is JBoss or Apache web server?
When you say runtime, right? I mean, you want like when the process are running
Mm-hmm.
and then the instance one, right?
Yes.
Right. I believe it's
Like
a JBoss.
in
Yeah.
BPM, we have this WebSphere application was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, like what is the runtime environment which Appian uses?
It's a JBoss, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So Appian, it has its own application servers where, let's say, uh, we have multiple things, right? We have rules to be stored somewhere. We have running instance to be captured. We have the archive instance to be captured. So we have files to be stored, right? So Appian divided the its application servers in multiple places where one server is being divided to the given to the running instances, the process model instances where it can be there. For the search server, like if you have any file system available or if you have any rules created, if you want to search that rule, so it uses a search server to get that rule name from and find it out and bring it to you. If you have file upload it to the system. Like let's say if you want to upload any file to the system, you can also capture to the Appian server itself. So it has created a different server location for that file. So whenever you upload a file to the system, it will auto generate an ID for which will be unique for every time. It can't be same, right? All right. So let
Is it
me.
having any internal database of its own for
Yeah, as I said, right,
reporting
it has,
purposes?
as I said, right, it has its own the MariaDB where it captures all those data. Okay. All right. Just give me a quick second. I think it's my it's being logged out. I'm logging into the Appian community. By the way, do you guys? I mean, have you guys logged into the Appian community?
Yeah, I was able to create an account.
Very nice. How about others? You took an Indian instance, right? Right. Okay. So let me open any one of the application given by the Appian. Right. Okay. So I got it. Let me share my screen quickly. You guys see it? Right. So this is one of the application is being created by the Appian. You will see it the same applications when you will able to log in and get your own practice environment. Right. So you see these are the pages where you can different tabs you can have it, and then you have different informations. Um, Now initially they were giving you the access of the tempo page, but now it has been revoked. Let's say I want to change my site's campaign management request. Right. See, this is the application that we built last time when we were doing the training. So if you wanted to create a new employee, we create a button this for this one. If you click on it, you will be able to create a new employee. Um, if you go to the inventories tab, you will see able to list of the inventories that are available into the system. If you want to create a new request, you can search for an employee. Let's say if I want to search for an employee here, so I got this details. I can select the employee, hit next button, add the request, what are the items they wanted. Let's say I want to have some softwares. In the software we have MS Office and MS Excel. I want one quantity. I can add another request. I want an hardwares. In hardwares we have, let's say, keyboard. I want like counted in the 50, and it is also getting the total price is getting also calculated. If you want to have some peripherals, so we can have, let's say, pen. I want to have in 100 quantities of pen, and then you can hit next. Once we hit next, it can give the details who has requested for this, what are the details of the items, and what the total price he has to pay, and then we can hit on submit. Once we hit on submit, a new request will get created to the system. Right, come on. Right, so it says that your request has been submitted successfully. Your transaction ID is 13. So we have a transactions record as well. So go to the transaction record. You can see all those record is being created here. The 13 is also here. You can click on it and you can see the details of this transactions, whatever the ID, what's the total price, and everything's out there, right? If you want to take an action, you can also take an action on it. Right now nothing is configured there. If you want to see the my task, you see as a manager I have approval task for 13. I can open it. I can see, I can accept the task. I can see what are details it has. I can take a decision, approve or reject, and then I can hit and submit. So let me go and accept the task. I can either approve or reject. I can approve it and then hit and submit. So it will go back to the submit page. Some issue might be there. Yeah. And we have also designed some graphs to say how many requests was approved, how many were rejected, how many were submitted. All these details you can see in the graph. right? Let's, as I said, right, this is a record, by the way. Okay, if I, as I said, right, if you want to create a new employee, you can simply click on the new employee, and then you can fill the details, and it will add a new details. Let's say I'm going to have a new employee record called, okay, if I click on create, so in the behind the scene, the employee will get captured to the database, and you can see it here. It's being get added here, right? So that's how we can also create it. We can also, if you, let's say I want to do some modification, I click on this and I say update employee, and by mistake I give an M here, or let's say I want to update the email address, I'll say _1, right, and then hit on save, right, action completed, and now you see that this is being updated here, right? If you want to delete the particular employee, just simply use this section and it will get deleted from the system, right? So that's how Appian record works. It help you to understand, I mean, to take an action on the data, to update the data, to add a new data, to delete the data. All those things you can do by using this Appian record. Okay, any question, guys?
During training, will you show that how to implement this application?
Right,
Uh,
exactly. That's what the training is about. We will be creating one application from end to end. So at the end of the training, you will have one working application.
okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Anyone else? Any question, guys? Come on. No questions? Like what will the duration of the training? How you will see the recordings? All right. If you guys have no questions, then please do register yourself in the Appian community, and then get an environment for yourself. Okay, so one thing, for if you have seen, the data type, like series custom data type, and then data store. We can't show it here because it is being restricted now. So we will be sharing one video with you guys, which you can go through, and then let me know if you have any questions. We can discuss on that. Okay. Yeah, Kalpana, you're saying something.
Ravi,
Yeah.
in the topics AI skill integrations and RPA data fabric, are these covered in this session by end of the session?
Good question. So what we will be covering, we will be covering the APIs, integrations, connected systems, right? RPA,
Mm-hmm.
artificial intelligence are the separate topics that to take around more than a month to complete. So that is not part of this training session. This is a pure development where you doesn't need an RPA or artificial intelligence, right?
Okay.
Data fabric
And
is just a use of records with combining all. It's a nice terminology to hear about, but basically it is when you don't want to use CDTs and all. You just use a record for bringing data from all the third party at one place and then work on it. So that's a data fabric. So, but artificial intelligence RPA are not part of this training. Thank you
so
for
we'll
bringing this
be
up here. Mhm.
using this data fabric concept too while building the application, right?
Right, right. That's an Appian record. That's what I said. No? That's an Appian record. Basically, you
Mm-hmm.
will do everything by using the Appian record.
Okay. And about integrations, Ravi, integrations and web APIs.
Right, we will do that. Now, what we will do, we'll try to see. There are many freely available integrations are available, APIs are available. We need to configure that to see how we can bring the data from the third party to the Appian, and also how we can expose our Appian data to the third party. So we'll see those examples.
Yeah, we'll be covering only basic things or in depth in the integration study.
Right. I mean, see, the configurations are same, right? I mean, integration. What you do with the integration, you just bring the data from third party to Appian, And what do
Yes.
you do with the API? You expose your Appian data to third party,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Right. And then at their end, you can do with anything with your data, isn't it? So that's what we do. If
Okay.
you understand the working technology, how it works, you will be able to do
Mm-hmm.
anything about that, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. More questions, guys? All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
is it a 1 hour session per day or is it more than
yeah,
1 hour?
it's going to be a 1 hour session per day, excluding weekends. So we will have Monday to Friday sessions for 1 hour. It will go around 30 to 40 days. Uh, you know. So yeah. All right. No more questions then. Okay then. We'll connect tomorrow at the same time. I hope you to see all there. Thank you.